Hello, everybody, and welcome to the symposium. I'm here with Maria Jones, who is our tutor for the Star Priestess and Priest course. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Maria, who's going to tell us a little bit about her course and what's involved. But first of all, Maria, would you just like to introduce yourself to everybody?
Thank you, Lisa. It's so lovely to be part of this again. We've been doing it for a few years, haven't
We have.
we?
We have.
So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Maria and I've been teaching the Silver Spiral for about 6 years now. I think we're into our sixth year. And I am also a priestess of Avalon and a goddess astrologer. I always find these things a little bit tricky trying to remember all of the different things that I do. Um, but this is it's just so beautiful to be here and be able to share this with you again.
Thank you. And can you tell us a little bit about your course and what's involved?
Absolutely. So with the Star Priestess training with the Silver Spiral, it is a journey of self initiation. So we are working with the goddess archetypes of the silver wheel to help you to really reclaim all of the lost parts of yourself, to remember who you have always been as a priestess throughout your many, many incarnations of service, and who you are destined to be in this lifetime. So it's a really deep journey. Of course, we also learn the technicalities of astrology as well. You'll be able to read birth charts and do many different techniques by the end of the 2 years. But the way we structure the training is that it becomes a alchemical journey of kind of self-understanding as well, because for me, that's what astrology is really for. It is the mirror to our soul. So it reveals to us all of the skills and talents that we have. It reveals to us all of the goddess archetypes that we are naturally attuned to. But it also really reveals to ourselves our karmas and our things that we have to work on in this incarnation as well. So I always liken astrology to be a little bit like looking in the black mirror,
Yeah,
because everywhere you go, there you are.
yes.
So that's what we really do in the spiral. We hold you through that process. And always within the wheel, there are archetypes, there are goddesses, there are signs, there are planets that we feel a natural affinity to, usually the ones that are positively aspected in our birth chart. And there will always be signs that we are resistant to, which is where a lot of our shadow work is as well. So by going around the whole wheel, we not only begin to understand all of the archetypes so we can do readings, but also to just meet those places in ourselves and to uncover things that we might not have recognized before. So there is a depth to learning astrology this way, I feel.
Yeah, it sounds really intriguing. And I totally the sort of I had the pleasure actually of being a participant in a ceremony earlier in the year that the Silver Spiral past and present students created, and it was just so magical to see the planets embodied by people in a way that I had never experienced before. um, and to experience kind of like astrology in that way that made perfect sense to me in a way that reading something in a book probably wouldn't, because it was so embodied and so powerful. And yeah, sort of like an oracling of the different planets, and it was just spectacular. I enjoyed every minute. Um, so can you say a little bit more about, because we've got a new format, haven't we, for the next Spiral One that will start next year? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. I think what you're talking about is the star oracling that happened at the orchard,
Yes,
actually.
yes, it was
Um,
amazing.
uh, that's something that we learn as part of the journey as well. And I'm not sure whether anyone else has ever done that, actually embodied the planetary goddesses, but we allow them to speak and give messages about the current astrology. But the new format of the training this year, I think, is going to be really powerful, because instead of meeting every 6 weeks, we'll be coming together every month. So instead of 8 circles, we'll journey individually through the 12 temples of the stars,
Mm.
starting with Aries and coming all the way around to Pisces. So there will be an even more structured containing, I think, within that. And for those who are wanting to be in Glastonbury as well, we will also have some optional weekends where people can come and be with us in August and walk the Glastonbury Zodiac and come together as a circle, because I often find that by that point in the year, everybody wants to meet in person. So we will do some work in the Glastonbury Zodiac, on the land, on her body. And then, of course, we'll have an in person dedication option in early 2028 as well. So this has always been the way the spiral has run, actually, because we began in COVID. So we started online, and I think it just creates space for more people to come in, because we have star priestesses and priests all over the world now, which is amazing.
Yeah, so I know that you have quite a big community now of star priestesses and priests, don't you? So how can you talk a little bit about how you sort of create together as a community and how you connect as a community?
Yeah, so we have our online space, our circle of stars, where we connect. And as we're going through the spirals, actually, I always encourage people to, practice readings on other priests and priestesses within the community. So networks and friendships can form.
Mm.
So we have that online aspect. But also each year we do what we call the Star Priestess convocation.
Mm.
Sometimes that can be in Glastonbury. But because the path of the Star Priestess is also very much interwoven with the stones, because of course they mirror the movements of the cosmos.
Yeah,
We often also have gatherings out on the land in places like Avebury as well. That's where we're heading this August. Actually, we're having a community free gathering in Avebury next
wonderful.
month. So we try to come together in person as well. We try to create options for people who are online and people who are in the UK as much as we can.
Yeah, sounds amazing. So it's possible to do the spirals fully online if people would like to do it that way, but it's also possible to come and meet in person twice in the first spiral, so that there's an in-person option as well for meeting up and connecting on the landscape here in Glastonbury. That's brilliant. And for someone who's kind of really interested in astrology but has never studied it before, do you have any advice for someone that's just starting out, that is interested in starting the course with you, but maybe a little bit hesitant because their knowledge isn't so great?
That's a really great question. I often think that's where people can meet a little bit of resistance when they're thinking about learning astrology. So I would suggest really just allowing yourself to let go of trying to understand all of the technicalities at once, because when you first start studying astrology, it can be a little bit overwhelming or mind blowing. But within the spiral, we have people who are complete beginners, and by the end of the year, they are proficient in reading birth charts from this goddess astrology perspective. And we also have, people who are very well known astrologers that have been through the training as well. And, it offers them a completely fresh perspective because nobody else is really teaching astrology in this way with the goddess archetypes. And within the spiral training, we really focus in on the energy of the star oracle as well. So I really encourage us to use our intuition rather than sticking in these kind of rigid patriarchal techniques, which can also be a little bit doom and gloom and a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
serious.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Maria, for sharing your insight and wisdom about your training. It's really a fascinating subject. So thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next time.